So an inequality is something that has the greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. This first one is already worked out for you. Hopefully you see this is exactly like a one-step equation. So we have C minus 12 is greater than 65. Just like a one-step equation, pretend this was an equal sign here. What would I do to get this C by itself? Add 12 to both sides. So I would say C is greater than 77. What I do want us to start doing is we're going to be putting our answers in something called set notation. Set notation looks like this. So we do C, and we use the braces. C is greater than 77. So what this means, it means for all C's, C is greater than 77. So later on when we get into more complicated answers, it's going to be something like C is greater than 77 or C is less than 15, something like that. So later on this right side is going to be a little bit more complicated, but right now it's not. This is called set builder notation. Y'all remember that? Set builder notation. Okay, so you can check. To check it, choose a number greater than 77 and a number less than 77 to plug them in. You don't have to do both of these. You could just do one of them. So you could say or a number less than 77. So if you choose a number greater than 77, this should be true, like a true statement. If you choose a number less than 77, this should be false, because it says the answer should be greater than 77. So when you plug in, like say 80, 80 minus 12 is 68. 68 is greater than 65. But if I plug in a number less than 77, like 70, 70 minus 12 is 58. 58 is not greater than 65. Does that make sense? Okay, try this practice one at the bottom on your own. And I want you to check it at least one way. So check it by either plugging in a number greater than what it's supposed to be or less than what it's supposed to be. Check. You should be adding 8 to both sides. So we get 30 is greater than m. One thing about set builder notation is you always want your variable on the left side. So if I write the m first, do I write greater than or less than? Less than. Okay, think about like the alligator mouth. It opens up towards the 30. It's got to say opening up towards the 30. So now we want to check to see if this is correct. So m is supposed to be less than 30. So a true statement. What is a number that's less than 30? 1. Okay, so if I plug in 22 is greater than 1 minus 8. Well, 1 minus 8 is negative 7. Is that true? Yeah. Okay, a false statement would be a number that is not less than 30. So what's a number that's not less than 30? 31. Okay, so 22 is greater than 31 minus 8. So 31 minus 8 is 23. So is this a true statement? No, it's false, which is supposed to be false. So we got it. I'm not going to make you check every single one of these. I just want you to know how. Especially when we get into the bigger ones. Okay, example 2. Let's solve x plus 23 is less than 14. Just like a one-step equation, we want to do the opposite of adding 23. We want to subtract 23. So x is less than negative 9. So set builder notation. Right here, set builder notation. That's what it's called. The way you read it, just like we talked about before, the set of all numbers x such that x is less than negative 9. Okay, try to do number 2 right here. So you subtract 8. P is less than or equal to 10. Make sure you put less than or equal to. The set builder notation, say for all P, we have P is less than or equal to 10. Okay, we're not going to worry about checking this one. Okay, so variables on each side. So solve 12n minus 4 is less than or equal to 13n. And this time we're also going to graph the solution set on a number line. So you know how to do this. This is just like a normal equation. It's the same exact steps. We have to get all of our variables on one side. So move the smaller one, subtract 12n, and then we have 1n is greater than or equal to negative 4. But remember, set builder notation, we have the variable on the left side. Okay, so to graph this, I don't really know why this turned out to be a dotted line. It doesn't need to be. Something you may want to write over to the side is we're going to have an open circle for greater than or less than. And then you're going to have a closed circle for greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. So what kind of circle am I going to have here? Close at negative 4. So it's all the numbers greater than or equal to negative 4. So which way is my arrow going to go? To the left or to the right? To the right. One thing that may help you is if it's in set builder notation, if the variable's on the left side, you can look at your sign and pretend like it's an arrow. Okay, you see it's pointing to the right. That's the way you shade. When you do this, make sure you are shading on the actual line. Do not shade above it or below it. We want it on the actual line, and you want to make sure you bold this arrow over here on the right. That way we can tell it goes on forever that way. Okay, try to do this one on the bottom, down here. There's not a number line, but you need to draw your own. Okay, so subtract 9n. Have -1 is less than n. Okay, I need to write it in step builder notation. So n is greater than or less than -1. Keep the sign opening towards the same thing. So it's opening towards the n. So I say greater than -1. Okay, open or close circle at -1. Open, and I can follow this arrow. The arrow is pointing towards the right, so I need to shade to the right. And make sure you bold your arrow at the end. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, in example 4. So Kim wants to buy season passes to 2 theme parks. If one season pass costs $54.99 and Kim has $100 to spend on both passes, the second pass must cost no more than what amount? Okay, so total she can spend $100. So why is there a less than or equal sign here? Does anybody know why? Yeah? Yeah, no more than. So she doesn't have to spend the $100. She could spend the whole $100, but she could also spend less than the $100. But she can't spend more than what she has. So she could spend less than or $100. So subtract $54.99 from both sides. So the other pass could cost $45.01 or less. So P could be less than or equal to $45.01. Okay, so what about practice 4 down here? Sam has $65 to spend at the mall. He bought a t-shirt for $18 and a belt for $14. If Sam wants a pair of jeans, how much can he spend? So far he has the t-shirt for $18. In addition to that, he has the belt that he spent $14 on. And then he also wants to buy the pair of blue jeans. That's going to, I'm going to say J. What sign do I need right here in between all of this and the 65? Less than or equal to, yeah. Because he could spend $65 or he could spend less. So add your like terms. 14 plus 18 is 32. And then subtract 32. So his jeans could cost $33 or less. When you are writing your answer on these, I don't want you to just say $33. I want you to say 33 or less. Right, and that's it. That's it. So go ahead and start on your homework. Your homework on the board, page 288, 12 through 34 even, and 35.